There's tons of great restaurants here in Japan, but one of the hardest things to find is pizza. Even though I keep showing you guys these videos, it's still something you have to search for to find a really good pizza. And rightfully so. I mean, it's Japan, not Italy. And today we're back in Kinshicho, and right inside of the station, you'll find Cielo Irio Higashi. It's a really nice open restaurant up on the fourth floor of Kinshicho Station. You can see this bar is awesome, and even that oven right over there. The menu's packed with lots of different goodies. In fact, they have both a lunch and dinner menu. The lunch menu goes on every day as well as on the weekends, but the prices are a little bit more expensive, and you kind of have to expect that here in Japan, especially considering that this specific weekend it was a holiday. And even though I went through the menu looking for different things, I knew exactly where I had come here for, and that's the pizza. When I saw what the lunch special was, I definitely had to go for that set. The lunch special came with a salad and a drink, and that drink that I chose was a ginger highball. I, I have to say, this has got to be one of the best whiskey drinks on the planet. And of course, then the pizza came out. I went with the prosciutto and arugula. If you guys don't already know, I love prosciutto. And I have to say, this salad was amazing. All the vegetables super fresh, and the vinaigrette was amazing. But this pizza specifically was a sauceless pizza. And that's not uncommon when it comes to a Neapolitan style pizza with prosciutto. That day, I just wanted sauce, but hey, still didn't keep me from enjoying it. The outer crust looked really good, though the undercarriage had a slightly uneven cook on it. But the taste of it, man, oh man. This pizza actually made me happy in that moment as soon as I took the bite. Be it was the spiciness of the arugula, the fattiness of the prosciutto, or that olive oil that they had topped it off with, but it tasted damn good. The only bad thing I could really say about it was that the actual outer crust was way too chewy, while the undercarriage had a lot of flop to it. No crispiness, but the flavor was just on point. Really tell that it was a high quality cheese, a really good fresh arugula, and a real high quality olive oil. I ended up eating absolutely everything, but we're just going to score the pizza today. Even with the outer crust being a little bit chewy, the flavor and the freshness was amazing. And with that, it's going into A class with an 8.1. On one of probably the nicest afternoons that I actually had free, I decided to go ahead, take a little bit of a walk, enjoy the scenery, you know, maybe even see and smell the flowers, so to speak. Now, I don't know about you, but when I have a free afternoon, it sounds like the perfect time for lunch, and it just so happened to fall into a place I had never tried before. Which brings us here to Van San in Kinshicho. Now, from the name Italian Kitchen Van San, it's easy to see, well, it's an Italian restaurant. What I didn't know was that this was one of the more corporate types of restaurants that you can run into here in Japan. And I mean, you could tell by this huge menu. Now, everything on this menu kind of screamed that they specialized in pasta. Uh, so much stuff on here, and it looked really, really good. And every woman that was there, yeah, there was nothing but women there. I was probably the only guy other than two couples that were there. But yeah, every one of them seemed to be enjoying the pasta. But of course, for me, I was there for the pizza. They had a few different choices on the types of pizza you could order, and the prices were pretty good. I decided to start off with a plate of jamon serrano, mortadella, and salami, and I did that with reason too, because of course I ordered a margarita pizza. And this thing came out looking like it had real potential with a nice crispy exterior crust, but it kind of killed me that the base crust was still super floppy. It gave me the idea of a New York style pizza, but with less stability. And the taste of it was pretty on point. It had the right amount of saltiness in the actual sauce. The cheese was fantastic. And even though the base was pretty floppy, it still had a nice little bite to it. The exterior crust, though, that was absolutely crispy and airy, and it made all the difference for this pizza. And of course, I had to go ahead and add a little bit of the serrano and the salami on there and give that a taste, which made it even better. Nothing could be said bad about this. It really just surprised me that for all the color that the base had, it didn't have any solidity to it. But of course, I think that was just because it was a pretty uneven cook. All in all, it was a damn good lunch. And for what it's worth, this pizza, with a couple of tweaks, it could go higher, but as of now, it's standing at A class with a 7.8. Taking in Kinshicho around the corner from the station down an alleyway, you'll find Punto. After taking the staircase down to the basement, you find yourself transported in a really nice, open space, modern style restaurant. I was surprised to see how big this place actually was when I got into it. And there was a really good number of people there for it almost being midnight. The menu's filled with different drinks, sangrias, wines, just about anything you could possibly want for that night out. And then moves into some of your appetizers or antipastos, plus some small dishes that they serve, and then into the pizzas. Now, as soon as you sit down, you are charged 410 yen, but it comes in the form of a free bread appetizer that's unlimited. You can order it all night if you want to and just keep drinking. But of course, you're more paying for the atmosphere and for the seat that you're in. And that's something that's typical in a lot of Japanese restaurants. After putting in your drink order, you're given a QR code that allows you to use your phone as your menu and where you're going to place the rest of your order. Of course, I started with the prosciutto, dried serrano, and Parmesan cheese. I mean, she brought out a bowl of Parmesan that was crazy. It also came with grapes, and I'm telling you right now, this was one of the best tasting grapes I've ever had in my life. It tasted more like a grape than anything I've ever tried. And of course, I ordered a margarita pizza, but what came out to me was the smallest thing I had ever seen in my life. And I wondered if they had made a mistake in giving me a child's pizza, but nope, that was mine. The undercarriage, of course, was unevenly cooked, and it seemed like there was too much exterior crust for surface area of actual, pizza. But let me tell you, the flavor of that thing, it still shocked the hell out of me. It was good. The exterior crust was nice. It was not overly chewy. It had the right kind of bite to it and just tasted great. Now, of course, I had to go ahead and drop the prosciutto and the serrano on there. And I mean, what's there not to like about this? Every time you do this to a margarita pizza, it's only going to make it better. But what made this an even more just amazing experience was the fact that I saw an old face that I hadn't seen in quite a while. This one here is an old standard in Mexico, and honestly, seems like the rest of the world as well. Cholula. You cannot go wrong with this hot sauce, salsa, chile, whatever it is you want to call it. It's just perfect on damn near everything. It really made me happy to have that, and it only made the pizza that much better. But at the end of the day, it's all about the flavor of the pizza. And for that, we're going B class with a 7.5. The whole experience was great. The pizza was actually really good. There are a few things that could make it a whole lot better, but hey, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I think you should try out every single one of these places if you're ever in Japan. As always, please remember to like, leave your comments, and most definitely subscribe.